Good morning and welcome to the Market Forecast. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Today is Tuesday, December 15th, 10 days to the big day. Hopefully you're getting your shopping done. As always, we're going to look at these markets in context through the lens of risk management. And starting with the economic numbers due out this morning, 7:30 this morning, we had the manufacturing index out and import-export. None of them wildly impactful in these markets. Perhaps with a little digestion, things may change a little bit. And at 8:15 today, right in the middle of the market forecast, we are going to have the industrial production numbers. As far as news is concerned, stocks are looking to break a little bit of a down streak, about 4 days of a losing streak, as our COVID vaccines roll out. Belief in fiscal stimulus by the end of the week seems to be balancing out the threat of increasing lockdowns. The FDA is to release data today on the Moderna COVID vaccine and hopefully approve that for usage by the end of the week. Crude prices seem to be ignoring demand warnings by the IEA and possible surplus in production, as well as reduced demand. It's kind of a mystery to me how crude oil just seems to always ignore fundamental information. As always, make sure you like, share, comment, question, feedback, and heckling are always welcome. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified when we do go live. VIX 2319, a little bit of a rally in it yesterday, off about 5 or 6% this morning. And the dollar index just hanging above that 90 level. Last I checked, 90.64. Always like to check in with my peeps. Good morning, everyone. Let's see who we have here today. Charles March wins the prize, first one in the room this morning. Felix, good morning. Clarence, Thomas Nocito, looks like a newer name. Welcome to the Market Forecast if this is your first trip here. And thanks for commenting and telling everybody good morning. Good morning, MSS Capital. Danielle, guten Tag. Bodie Wildard, strapping into his saddle for a potential wild ride today. Yeehaw. I'm beginning to get a feel for who you are, Mr. Bodie Wildheart. Prophet Eon, good morning. Cesar, good morning. Possibly another new name here. Brian, Danny, Suki, possibly another new name here. Welcome to the Market Forecast. Troy, PMA Bull Alex, good morning. Bodie saying good morning to PMA Bull Alex. Good to see all of you here. Esteban, John, Vladislav, Will, Michael, Richie, Angelina, Michael H., Mike, Mason, Morgan, good morning, Mason, George, Michael, and Joshua. Duncan, good morning to everybody. I'm going to put the link in for Market Therapy. That's the Market Therapy link there for you. That is tomorrow, 3:15 after the markets close. I always like to turn down the lights and listen to the good doctor speak. Good morning, DJ ARS. More DJRs. Good morning. Good to see you again. All right. So as always, we're going to look at our six markets. We're thinking about adapting a little bit at the beginning of the year and adding some of the treasuries, perhaps the 10-year, to the market forecast. Hopefully that will be useful for you. But we always start with crude oil. We go through the E-mini S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, and a couple of the currencies, the euro and the Japanese yen. And we're going to, always be kind of looking at it from the top down, starting with the daily chart, seeing what we're seeing there, looking at volume, looking at open interest. Open interest and volume tends to be a little bit blurry during rollover, and we've got our equities and our currencies currently in rollover, so the volume and open interest maybe not as useful, but we're always looking from that top-down daily chart into the 30-minute chart to see what we see in possible opportunities for executions. We're not trying to tell you where to buy and sell here. We're just kind of hoping to give you a little bit of consistency to bring into the marketplace. A lot of folks ask me, they say, Hoag, I want to be a consistently profitable trader. How do I do that? It is more about the consistency that you bring to the marketplace. Have a system that you work in the morning, the way you look at markets. Keep it consistent. That may help you find some of that consistency. Michael with a suggestion: adding Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Interesting. We will certainly take that in advisement. Um, it's I have such a difficult time trusting Bitcoin with my money. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I do tend to get attacked by technology, which, by the way, I am still being attacked by technology this morning. I keep losing my charts, and we're going to have to keep those up. So let me get those up, and then let's get started so we can maybe get through this before they come off. The idea of Bitcoin. All right, we'll take a look. All right, all right, without further ado, let's take a look at the charts before they go away again. All right, so always starting with the daily in crude, just basically going left to right. Crude oil, it seems overpriced for the demand and for the supply that's out there. We have the API coming out this afternoon. Vlad doesn't trust Bitcoin either. Yeah, all right. Good morning, Mike. So anyway, just to kind of get back to what we're looking at here in crude oil, I'm a little distracted here. My dog's a little bit crazy this morning. So again, it seems it's a little overpriced for the demand. It seems a little overpriced for the supply that's out there. It is in rollover. We're going to be moving into the February month here probably on Thursday. We'll be watching the volume, and we'll let you know when we see it's time to move over. But we just have to remember, whatever we think about the market, whatever our thoughts are, is if it's too expensive, if it's too cheap, that's one way to look at things. But we always want to be thinking about trading what we see, and we're seeing a pretty decent, relatively organized upside structure to this market. So I'm still of the frame of thought, as long as we stay above this weekly kickoff low here at 45.50, of trying to find opportunities to buy weakness. Now again, we've got the API this afternoon, we got EIA tomorrow. So there's some information due out. If this vaccine proves to be as efficient as they say it is, well, then a lot of people will be able to get out and start moving around and traveling, and I think that's really what more of the fundamental drive of this market is to the upside. But it's still in the short term, where they're talking about big, tighter lockdowns, less moving around, and that can't be good for crude prices to move higher. So just remind yourself, if you're trading crude oil, just trade what you see. You're going to hear a lot of information that may be contrary to what the market is telling us. 45.50 weekly kickoff low. We took a look down to it yesterday. This morning, just opening up, no gap, settlement 46.99 even. No real overnight inventory. I'm going to try and stay really patient today, as I usually am telling people to do. Try and stay patient, because we don't know when our best trade location is going to come. Yesterday morning, we had a lot of overnight longs in this market. As soon as the market opened and they found out that they weren't going to be bringing in new buyers to this market, they ripped this market to the downside right back to settlement, and there go the charts. I do apologize for this. It is extremely aggravating, and I can only imagine how it feels for you. Here we go. And we are back. Okay. So lots of overnight inventory yesterday that moved price back to settlement. Maybe a bit of overnight inventory to the long side here that may take us back to settlement, but we're in range. I'll be watching to see if we reject value from yesterday or if we accept value from yesterday. Acceptance means a possible move down to our overnight low, or even perhaps down to our value area low from yesterday. So a lot of my decision making in crude is going to come if we get the opportunity to see an execution here. Settlement value high from yesterday, a bit of a target-rich environment. I'm going to see if I can get an execution, perhaps in either direction, at that level today. Overnight high, really just put in kind of even with yesterday's regular trading hour high. Also a naked point of control from last week. So visual targets to the upside perhaps reached. Visual targets to the downside perhaps not quite reached. And if I'm going to be thinking in the longer term, if I think that the market is going to be strong in the longer time frame, then I may wait for the opportunity to look to buy that market in weakness. As much as it hurts me to say that, we have to trade what we see. This is the mini S&Ps now. We added 130,000 in open interest. We're still in rollover. Okay, there's still a huge amount of open interest still in the December contract. There's still a lot to roll over or to let expire and cash settle. But it still says to me that that our longer time frame traders are more focused on getting that cheap roll than becoming directional. You can see we've got 4 days in balance here, really centrally located. I mean, we really haven't moved since, what's this, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, since the close of Wednesday. We're still right there. We haven't moved. The market is full of shorter time frame traders, not a lot of long time frame traders involved in directional activity in this, and it's making it, I think, more difficult for our day traders. Well, it just goes to say that the difficulty that day traders tend to have during rollover, and David, rollover usually starts, about 2 weeks before it ends. So we're in the second week of rollover with expiration this Friday. Last Thursday was switch day, and the Monday before that is really when the focus, I think, of the longer time frame traders really hones in on, and there go the charts again, hones in on the importance for the longer time frame to get a cheap rollover accomplished. Let me get those charts up again. This just drives me crazy, and I apologize again. So here they are. So daily, I mean, we're inside extended trading hours. Not a lot of movement last night. Here we are. Here's our weekend gap. Okay, we opened, we broke. We're basically in the kind of a 3-day area of balance, perhaps even a 4 or 5 day area of balance. Settlement is all the way down here, 36, 39 even. There's a lot of short time frame longs in this market. They've taken the market back to inside value from yesterday, but without the longer time frame getting involved in directional activity, I'm thinking it's only a matter of time till all of our overnight longs are going to get the idea that after the regular trading hour open, without new buyers coming into this market, possibly longer time frame buyers, which is less likely because it's rollover, we may see that move back towards settlement, similar to the way we did yesterday. We've got some overnight longs here. I'll be watching. If that does not happen, I'm going to try and stay very patient and look for the extremes of yesterday's session for any executions. The NASDAQ now, always a little bit of a different situation. Same asset class, different situation. We've got, 3 out of 4 days to the upside here. We're approaching a weekly kickoff high, which will possibly be an important inflection level. There is a more directional feel to this, and that again may be a bit of a trick. We're in rollover here. We added 6,400 in open interest yesterday. The number of contracts left to open is about even between December and March. So there's still a lot of rollover left to do. There's a lot left to roll over. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that and an ear to that. we get the opportunity to have an execution up near this weekly kickoff high, this 1255.90 area. That's really going to be something I'm going to be looking at. Okay, so settlement is here. Question about settlement. Settlement is the price that the exchange marks the end of the session, the end of the previous day's regular trading hour session, and it is where margins are attached to. So if I have shorts down here, they're going to mark those shorts to the settlement price from yesterday, and that's where they're going to be calling me and saying, you need more money in here if you're going to maintain this position. So what it means to us as day traders is it's a kind of a starting point for the session. So here's where the market opened. We traded both sides of the market. The now, right about the London session open, we saw some shorter time frame buyers coming in to take this market. How do we know they're short time frame? There's very little volume. These are just probably speculator onesie twosie type traders that have accumulated a long position. We know that because prices moved higher. They've been more aggressive to the buy side. So there's that hypothesis that says our short time frame traders are long. If we do not see continuation to the upside and the regular trading hour open, quite often you're going to see the market trade back to settlement, back towards settlement. So you can kind of look back if you start marking settlement on your charts, lax, how often when market opens away from settlement, it returns back to settlement at some point in that session. We've lost the charts again. Yes, with all the hacking going on, my charts are very important information. Very important government information. All right. So I hope that's a good explanation of settlement and one of the ways that we use it. NASDAQ's going to be opening with a gap to the upside, it looks like. Gap rules. If we can't close that gap relatively early, we're looking for opportunities to trade in the direction of the gap, which would lead us back to the upside. Okay, so again, we're getting very close to that important inflection level, which is 12,590, right about here, to where we may see some resistance coming in longer time frame. There's Lacey saying good morning. All right, gold. We're still kind of centrally located overall inside weekly kickoff range. Good morning, James. Weak volume, no change in open interest yesterday. The market seems to be just kind of idling here, looking for new information. So there is potential for change evident here. When the market idles for a period of time, it's building energy. No real information in volume, no real information in open interest. We're going to take a look at the 30-minute chart because I believe we are largely in short time frame control. Now, I've got a kind of a composite profile here to show the importance of the level where we open today. Settlement is all the way down here. Look at all these longs in this market up here. All these new longs getting paid after the regular trading hour open, taking market back to the value area for the last 4 sessions. This is a composite profile that is showing us where value is, where time has been spent, and where outside of value is. So I was looking at this morning thinking, if we've got all these longs here and we can hold above the value area for the past 4 days, there's a pretty good probability we may go up and test this weekly kickoff high up at 1865 even. If we can't hold here, we're going to see a whole lot of short time frame traders that are going to say, okay, I'm out, and they're going to push this market back to close the gap and then possibly even to close all the way down to settlement if they have that large a overall position. Now remember, these are shorter time frame onesie twosie traders, but it's a large community of traders, and if they're all one way and they start to bail out, you're going to see them jumping over each other to get out of those positions, especially the new longs up here, the late to the party longs. So I'm watching this 1852 4-day value high. Look, it's pretty close to the value high from, what is this, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Thursday's high, very close to the 4-day value area high. And it just kind of looked like it was an interesting area before the open because the market had been butting up against it. I put it on there to see, yes, okay, there is value. We can't hold value. We can't accept above value in the longer time frame. The opposite move would certainly be in order. I'm going to be watching that very carefully this morning. The euro, let's see if we can get through this before the charts go away again. The euro, rollover range, still in rollover, still really just kind of holding up against this weekly high of 122.10. Awaiting new information. We've got an inside extended trading hour range. In other words, our night range is inside yesterday's extended trading hour range. Possibly a continuation of balance. There was no gap. Settlement is here. Did we get some mild overnight shorts before we opened that have now taken price back to settlement, back inside value? I'm suggesting trying to stay patient, and there goes the charts. Oh, this is aggravating. Again, my apologies. We'll get this back up here right away. Right away. Right away. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we've got it. Okay. Right back to settlement, right back to middle of range, right back inside value. I'm back burnering this market for the time being. This is not gonna be one of my higher focused markets today. Lex, we do this every morning, 8 a.m. And most of the time, I'm not being attacked by hackers and technology. So, the Japanese yen, you can see that this market is still really kind of range bound over the last month, 3 weeks for sure. It remains range bound during rollover. There is potential for change here. The longer we stay here, the more the energy is going to build. It's going to use up its ability to facilitate trade, and it's going to move to another level to try and find an area to facilitate that trade. So, looking at the 30-minute chart, no gap, big down or emotional move to the downside yesterday. No overnight inventory necessarily to speak of until now. I'm going to try and stay patient. We're inside range and inside value. We do have an important level up here, 96.55. We looked above it yesterday, couldn't hold it. Another opportunity for us to potentially have an execution here where we can limit our risk. We added 700 in open interest to the downside yesterday, but again, because of rollover, I'm not depending too much on that open interest. And again, we've kind of accumulated some overnight longs here. So those overnight longs are facing resistance above. If they don't see an opportunity, they don't see buyers coming in to take this market above this weekly kickoff high, then I think we stand another pretty good chance of a move in the opposite direction to bring this market back down towards settlement. Okay? Lex, welcome to the market forecast. Seems like it's your first trip here. Hopefully, you're enjoying it and finding some good usefulness in this information. That is really our goal here at Top Step. We want to make sure everybody has a wonderful opportunity to succeed as a futures trader, and that's truly our goal. It's 8:25. We've got just a few minutes before the equity open. I am going to take my deep breath. I'm going to see if Lacey can figure out this computer problem, but in the meantime, I'm going to stay humble, grateful, and creative in my trading today. Let's get out there and profit. We've got today, we've got the rest of this week, Then we're into 2 short weeks of trading into the holidays. And we're going to see what happens for the rest of the week. I'm looking forward to finishing the year strong. Looking forward to having a good day today and a good rest of the week. Hopefully, you'll be doing the same. Get out there, profit, trade well. Dan, the man Hodgman, will be back with the market recap at 3 o'clock Central today. Check it out, Lax. Have a great day.